And, I remember having this big aha like decades ago that the surrender oftentimes I was sort of thinking would be a nice little parlay with God, and I would agree to surrender and da 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 da. In other words, give over to his will, not your will, not my will, God, but yours. This beautiful little conversation. And then what I found out through a series of life events, which we all do, is the surrender was much more of a knockout punch where I just had run to the end of my resources and I just couldn't do it. So God, I'm surrendering. I'm just turning it all over to you. There's a lot of stories I could say around that, and a lot of stories you could say around that too, where it's just sort of like the knockout punch. Like life just gives us the knockout punch. We're just like, God, I just can't. And that led to this beautiful, beautiful summary of surrender. This comes out of the 12-step tradition. If you want to understand its simplest form, it's I can't, God, you can, I'm asking. So one form of surrender is this I can't, and it's the knockout punch, and it's just we're just flattened. And that will probably be part of everyone's life who's watching this today. If it hasn't happened yet, it will eventually happen. There will be something bigger than you that you can just not use the old tools to get through it. And you have to find a new way. And that's where God's going to show up in some pretty miraculous ways. So there's that kind of surrender, and it's a really good, healthy surrender. And then there's a second way to understand it. And this is the expanded version of surrender that I'd like us to think about today, to consider. And so we look at the implications. I can't, you can, I'm asking. So imagine going into something where we're just going to be like, I just don't know how this is going to work. And instead of it being the knockout punch, like it's not one of those kind of events where it's just like we're struggling with an addiction or whatever, and it's just we can't do it anymore. But more just even on the social side of things. We're going away somewhere. We're going on a trip. We're going to a family thing. We're going to a friend's thing. We're going into a work environment. And imagine the surrender there. Like Lord, I can't manufacture all this. I can't. But I know, Lord, that you can show me the way, and I'm going to ask you to show that to me. So here might be a simple example. Like we're very fortunate here at New Church Live. We do weddings all over the place. One way, just to give you an example that I want to continue to try to practice it, is when I go to these situations, oftentimes the only people I know are the couple. That's kind of it. And I know them well, but they're kind of it. They've watched New Church Live. They've talked to me. That we've had meetings. But that's kind of it most of the time, because online means our world is so expanded. Today I just had a note from somebody in the Middle East who watches us. That's the world we live in. And so imagine going into that and just going like surrender. Okay, so I go into a new situation, new social situation, and I'm anxious and I'm trying to remember like, okay, God, I can't manufacture this. I can't be the life of the party. I can't figure out the exact right things to say. I can't figure out who to talk to. But Lord, you're going to be such a big help in this. And I'm asking you to just guide my words, guide my attention, guide my connection with other people. And then what starts to happen with that kind of surrender, like there's the surrender of the white flag over here, but there's this surrender over here. And this is the key part of this surrender. This is kind of the linchpin for today's little talk. The linchpin over here to this kind of surrender is curiosity. Like, Lord, I'm beyond my resources here. So I, Lord, just need your help in really being curious as I go into this particular event or I have a conversation with this particular person. Just open me up, Lord. Remind me that it's more important to be interested than to be interesting. Help me to ask questions. Help me to really listen completely. Help me to let go of my agenda. So every time I hear them say something, I'm thinking of some great thing I can say. Just help me to be open, Lord. That's a surrender as well. So one is the surrender of the white flag over here. We knockout punch. Life has just dealt us the knockout punch. Lord, please just help me. And then the other one over here is much more like, okay, God, I just need your help because I can't do this. I don't know how to really listen. I don't know how to really be curious, but you certainly do. And help me to just be in that place of curiosity. White flag or curiosity. And today, what I'm hoping for you, hopefully you don't have a white flag event today, though probably some of you will. And maybe I will, who knows. But let's focus on that curiosity thing more and more today. Just the surrender, the surrender that leads to a curiosity, because we don't know, and we don't know where these interactions go, and we don't know what seeds we can be sown either in our own soul or in someone else's. Just with that simple gift of deep listening, deep connection, all those parts that come from a surrendered soul, where we've surrendered our agenda. We're just open to God's leading. So that's the thought for today, friends. So may you have a day surrendered into this beautiful gift of curiosity. Hope that makes sense. And what we're going to do now is we're going to shift gears. When we shift gears here at New Church Live, we ring the little trusty, rusty prayer bell. We scooch a little closer. Then we do a little meditation, little prayer, and a little blessing. And then we'll say hi to friends on Facebook. So let's go ahead and get started, friends, with a little breath and the prayer bell. A meditation from the Old Testament. Be still and know that I am God. Be still and know that I am. Be still and know that I. Be still and know that. Be still and know. Be still and. Be still. Be. Our Father, who art in the heavens, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, as in heaven, so upon the earth. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts, as we also forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever. Amen. May the Lord bless you and keep you. May the Lord make his face to shine upon you and be gracious unto you. May the Lord lift up his countenance upon you, bring you peace, and bring you home. Amen. All right, dear friends, let's do a little quick check here in on social media. Again, if you leave comments on Facebook, we do eventually get to them, and it's always wonderful to hear from you folks and chat with you and see how life is plugging along for you. All right, let's see what we got here. All right, no comments up there. Let's check the other page. All right, and I hope you all have a great week ahead. I am definitely looking forward to this week. We just got back from a weekend with one of our grandkids, and super busy. So that's all good. All right, no comments out there. So friends, wishing you all the very best.